Good afternoon. Welcome to our live Cinecast broadcast from banddirector.com of the Cavalcade of Bands competition here in Horsham, Pennsylvania. Did I say that correctly?
Hatboro,
Horsham, Pennsylvania. And my name is John Madden, retired band director from Michigan State University. Our program today is sponsored by the Yamaha Corporation. We're delighted that they're our sponsors. We'll talk more about Yamaha as we go on today. But I am delighted to be joined by Paul Smith, the Executive Director of Cavalcade of Bands, an amazing organization with a great history. So, Paul, first, tell us a little bit about Cavalcade and what our audience members should expect.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having us here, and thanks to banddirector.com and Yamaha. It's great. This is exciting for us. It's a first-time effort and venture, so we're really excited. Cavalcade is in its 58th year of existence. It was started by band directors, and it remains basically a band director association that sets the rules, the policy, the bylaws, and our focus moving forward. We have a board of directors, like most organizations, and we have an amazing administrative team, which you'll talk to later today.
Certainly. So you take the state of Pennsylvania, and you take all those schools with high school marching bands who do some sort of competition or field show festival format.
Right.
What percentage of bands in the state would become involved in Cavalcade?
Well, if you look at the state, it's probably a fairly low percentage. We have 3 organizations within our region, and then you have the western part of the state that is kind of separate from that. But we probably have maybe a 30 to 40% of the state, I would think.
And does it? You were talking about the western side of the state. Is there a geographic area that is more abundantly involved? Is it southeastern? Is it Philly? What's the geography?
Us, it's primarily southeastern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We have a good contingent in central Pennsylvania, and we've been growing in the northern part of the state.
Sure. So 58 years. There are obviously traditions involved in that, right? And as band guys and drum corps guys, we were talking earlier about tradition in circuits and organizations and the judging. Are there some hallmarks that stick out? We're talking to people all over the country, all over the world, learning a little bit more about PA bands and Cavalcade and all that. What are traditions? What are things that are important to folks in Cavalcade?
Well, I think maybe not so much of a tradition first is that we're also in other states other than Pennsylvania. We have bands in New Jersey. We have a few in Delaware, Maryland, and in West Virginia.
Okay.
Tradition-wise, one of the things that has been big is where our championship are held. We have traditionally held championships in Hershey Park Stadium. It's a very older, iconic stadium, but it feels home to us.
Right.
We're also in J. Bernie Crum Stadium, which is new to us. But I think the biggest tradition probably is how the band directors are involved.
Sure.
They set the rules, they set the policy, and we kind of work for them with a lot of partnering and good communication and information.
Can you, going off of that, can you tell us a little bit about the judging scenario, maybe how the sheets are formatted, what's important, who the judges maybe are, where they come from, are they former directors, etc.?
Sure. Our judges basically come from all walks of life. A lot of them, if not most of them, have been instructors, some have been directors, probably all of them have been performers at some point. Right. They come from all over this part of the not the country, but the region, the Mid-Atlantic region. Our sheets, we have field visual and ensemble visual that is combined and averaged.
Okay.
And we have field music, ensemble music, and then 2 overall effect, general effect sheets, one for visual and one for music. We also have specialty captions that are always at championships, but are not required at every other show for both auxiliary and percussion.
So 2 judges are going to get their steps in down there today.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good. We were talking earlier about the formation of a cavalcade honor band.
Yes.
That might be privileged with an invitation to the Rose Parade.
Yes. Well, we have an invitation to the
Okay,
Rose
so it's
Parade.
there.
It's there.
How will that come together? What will be the makeup of this band?
Well, it's we're going to be performing in the 2019 parade, and we performed last in 2015. It's a composite honor band. We open up auditions. We're going to open them up next weekend, and students from all of our memberships can apply. They send in a video, on audition video, not only musically but also marching, and then we have only a handful of practices throughout next year to get ready.
Who will you cap the number? Is it a prescribed size that that band will be?
We had about 150 last time. We're sure hoping to be at around 200 or
Sure.
over, but no, we will not cap the number.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, I had the privilege to accompany Michigan State to the Rose Bowl, and when our team earned a Big Ten championship, we beat Stanford in that game, and being in that parade
It's amazing.
was clearly the high point. And we won the game, and I'm telling you, it all together. Those kids that will be involved in this extravagant, great tradition obviously are in for the time of their life.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I've never worked harder and enjoyed it more at the same time.
Well, they'll be treated like rock stars.
They are.
Yes.
They really are.
Yes, excellent. So tell the folks a little bit about maybe what we'll see today stylistically, in terms of repertoire, and anything that sort of sticks out in terms of, bragging it up about our Cavalcade members here.
One of the great things about this show at Hatboro Horsham is it's traditionally our largest show of the year. So you will see bands in all different divisions, and we have 5 different divisions.
Okay.
So you'll see from the smallest bands, which do some amazing things because every performer has to perform, to the very, very large bands throughout the show. All kinds of styles, all kinds of show designs, show structures, and what they are building up to is our championships, which are next weekend.
In a week, right. So the circuit allows a band's identity to be true to themselves. A band's identity won't be as in favor as a band with, say, a different kind of identity.
No.
They embrace the tradition and the hallmarks of that band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like any association, we have our rules and regulations and bylaws. But from a creative standpoint, bands are left to do whatever they want to do.
Love it. Love it. So kind of wrapping it up, tell folks, getting a sort of a global sense of Cavalcade and all its kind of it represents. What do you suppose that the directors and those close to the program and the students, as they wrap up today and leading into next week, what kind of does this mean to everybody?
Well, one of the bigger things that we hadn't touched on yet is, in addition to marching activities, we also have an amazing jazz band association as part of our structure, and a growing indoor association for both guards and percussion. So in looking past next weekend, a lot of groups will start focusing on that. But in addition, obviously the Rose Parade will be a big issue and a big opportunity. But I think just continuing to keep the legacy of Cavalcade that's been going really strong for all these years,
Right.
Moving forward from not only this year but to future generations.
So the jazz band, jazz ensemble, time of year, pretty obvious how that, I'm sure, will shake out.
Right.
You mentioned the indoor activity, traditionally started, as an offshoot of, Winter Guard
Yep.
and WGI, but it's become a lot more than that, hasn't it?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the case with Cavalcade?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Does it involve percussion?
It involves percussion.
Any
it involves winds.
Okay.
We also still have twirler units.
There you go.
So we're pretty excited about that, and we're, the landscape in this area is pretty full.
You're right.
There's a lot of great groups. There's a lot of associations. So we're trying to do things a little bit differently in each area to keep growing and drawing units to our experience.
Wonderful. Anything else you want to tell the folks?
I'm probably sure, but I think you've covered a whole lot.
Hey, listen, you're kicking it off great. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled that like I said, banddirector.com is here, and that this is our first venture into this area, and I hope we have many more to come.
It seems to me like it's a real easy formula, and you guys are kicking it off great. You've given us an amazing day.
Absolutely.
We're peeking out at the field right now. It's just a blue sky and great temperature,
Yeah.
and so those kids are in for.
And we hope that's the same weather next week.
Yeah, we were talking about the championship next week, so but we are delighted to be able to kick it off with you. So again, the executive director
Yes.
of Cavalcade of Bands,
Awesome. And
Paul
thank
Smith.
you. It was very nice
Great to
meeting
visit
you.
with you.
All right.
Absolutely. All right.
Take care.